everyone, Lori Whitlock here. I've got a brand new set of marquee letters that you can buy at the Silhouette Design Store and in my shop at shop.loriwhitlock.com in SVG format. You can cut all of these pieces out on your cutting machine and make this really fun project. I've gone ahead and cut everything, as you can see. And you've got these 4 little panels here that go around the sides of the letters, and then these covering panels that you can use to cover the outside of the letters. I'm going to show you a finished letter, and that's what we're working on today. And this is what it looks like with the little marquee lights in. And let me show you the back really quick so you can kind of see what the back's going to look like. So there's this little battery pack here, and you can flip the lights on and off just like that. Isn't that fun? These are great for spelling a lot of different names or words, or they'd be good for weddings or a gift, or for Mother's Day coming up. Be fun for Christmas, all sorts of events. So these are really universal and a lot of fun. They'd be cute in a kid's room, maybe on a shelf with their initials or whatever. So let's get started putting them together. They're really quite easy. I'm using some adhesive and a bone folder. I've got a set of marquee lights. These are actually the Heidi Swap ones, and I'll put the link down in the description for you, but I'm sure there's other marquee lights or Christmas lights. You could get creative with how you're going to light your letters. I've also got some of these clips. I'll put the link down in the description for these as well. These are really great for helping to hold the lights in position, as you could see on the letter that I just showed you. So the first thing I'm going to do is just move some of this stuff off to the side. We won't be using the covering panels till the very end, so I'll just move those off. And then this M is going to go on the back side of our project, so I'm just going to move it away for now. The main thing that you're going to need to start with here are these panels, and you can see that there's little dots cut here into the side tab. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you're going to connect number 1 to number 2. So you're going to take that, and that glue tab is going to connect those 2 together. And then so on. 3 is going to connect, 2 is going to connect to 3, just like that. And 3 is going to connect to 4, just like that. Okay. But before we connect them, we're just going to go ahead and start one section at a time. But I just kind of wanted you to get a feel for how they're going to connect. And you'll notice in the file that there's a little start arrow here, and a little start arrow here. So that tells you that you need to take this piece and you're going to start with it along this long edge. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and fold everything. So go ahead and fold this center section all in one direction. Basically, these 2 side pieces are going to glue down to itself to make the sides of your letter extra thick. So you can see right here, there's a folded edge right here along the edge of the letter. And these side panels are double thick with white. Okay, so that's kind of what we're creating right now. So these are going to glue in on top of themselves, and then this glue tab is going to fold out. Just like that. And then you also want to fold your little glue tab and just make sure everything's nice and flexible. And then you've also got the score marks here on each section. So as you can see on the M, this is going to fold this way and this way. So we're going to be working around our M in this manner, just like that. So just getting those score marks flexible is great. And I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on these sides, and I'm going to leave the edge that is straight free of adhesive about 1/2 inch. Oops. Then we go ahead and do the same thing on this other edge. Darn lids get in my way. Okay, and then we're just going to fold those right on top of themselves. And that makes a nice sturdy letter. Just make sure that glue tab is free. And that's what we're going to connect our side panels to our letter with. So again, I'm going to make sure those corners are nice and flexible here as we work around our letter. So we're just going to glue this first tab right along there. And you can decide if you want to glue to the front or the back of the letter here. Doesn't really matter. But go ahead and run adhesive down the glue tab. And you're just going to line up that side of the M all the way to the folded edge on this glue tab here. And then when you get to the corner, you're just going to fold that around and adhere that to the back of there. And this glue tab is going to angle back up in this direction, so I'm just going to kind of get it going the right direction and then just push that glue tab down back there. So you can see it's coming along nicely. Now we're going to take number 2. It's got the 2 dots in it. And this has a glue tab on it here. So it's going to connect here and our other glue tab will be on the other end. So you can kind of see how this is going to start coming around the side of our M like this. So I folded those. And let's just go ahead and fold the long sides. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and glue these down and get ready to attach the rest of this on. And don't forget to leave a little bit free here on this end. If you forget to leave it free, and I may have done that on this one actually, I told you to do it and then I forgot. You'll have to use a little something to put in between there to open that up so you can fit your glue tab in. So yeah, that's going to be okay. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and glue those sides down. Just make sure our corners are nice and flexible. And it probably would have been easier if we would have put a little adhesive on this before. I'm going to use a little liquid adhesive, so that's going to be easier to get in there now. And you can put a little bit on each side of that glue tab. That way you can just stick it right into the end of the next piece. Just feed it in between those layers. Push it down till it's right up to the corner there. And then we do need to put adhesive on these pieces, and I should have done that before I started. Okay, we've got most of our M formed. It's looking really good. Okay, so then we're going to take this little glue tab down here and we'll put some adhesive on it. This one's a little bit easier to get to than that last one. And then we're going to use panel number 3 next. We're going to attach it on right here. So you can see that it's going to go this direction and then back this direction on the next section. So we'll go ahead and fold all of this towards the inside. Okay, and then just get your glue tab folded. And we'll go ahead and just glue these sections down. Oopsie. Because that's going to be hard to get to, I'm going to go ahead and put a little adhesive on that. And just make sure that this is opened up enough to slide this glue tab in. And then we need to put adhesive on these. Just make sure you get the adhesive on the correct side of those glue tabs so that you're consistent all the way around the letter. Okay, and then down here to the tip. Just getting your fingers in there to push down those glue tabs is a little tricky in some spots. Okay, and now we're to our last piece, and this one's going to connect like this to finish off our M, and that glue tab's going to head that direction. So just getting everything folded the right way is probably the trickiest part. Okay, so get it heading that way, right? Oh, I forgot to leave that free again. That's the hardest part for me, to remember that little end piece. So just don't push that glue down in that section until you get that tab in. Okay. And then we need to get adhesive here on these little glue tabs on the front side here. Sorry, this might be hard to see for a second. Okay, just get that glue tab in place there, push that down. And then this little glue tab on the end needs adhesive. And again, here we'll just make sure this is open, so you can slip your little glue tab in there. And that finishes off our letter M, other than the covering panel. So there's what our M looks like. Just Make sure everything's glued down the way it should be. And then we will go ahead and put our covering panel here on the back to cover up all those seams. And the M is symmetrical, so shouldn't make any difference which way you put it in. Okay, we'll just slip that right down inside of here. And all your holes should line up perfectly. And it makes a really professional, nicely finished letter. Let's make sure everything's glued the way it should be, and it should finish off just perfectly. So now that you have this done, the next thing you're going to do is go ahead and put the lights in. So here's our finished letter. Well, actually, I would put on the covering panels if you want to use those. You wouldn't have to use the covering panels, of course, but you probably will want to. You could cut this out of, a pattern cardstock or whatever that you'd like to decorate your letters with, or you have these covering panels that you can cut the base out of a really sturdy cardstock and then just cover it with a pretty pattern paper. Should be about a little less than 1/8 of an inch all the way around the edge. Okay, got all these covering panels to figure out where they go. The longer ones are going to go. Looks like those two go here. So go ahead and put those on. Same size. You might have to reference the file when you're doing this so you know which piece goes in which position. Okay, so now we have our beautiful letter M all assembled and all our covering panels put on. And the last thing you would need to do is put the lights in. So just a little tip on the lights. This is a 24 strand of lights that I bought from Heidi Swap. But if you wanted a strand that has less lights on it, like this one, I think it's got 11 or 12 on it. Heidi Swap has some cool Marquee Letters. If you'll buy the letters that are less expensive, like the Z and the Q, you can get them for about $4, and you can get a shorter set of lights that come with them, or you can buy the 24 strand. She may have some other links. I haven't researched it really closely, but you could watch for those. But basically what I did to put these in is I just picked the bottom. I started at the bottom and I worked to the other bottom so that my battery pack ends up down at the bottom instead of up at the top. But basically you're going to take the end. Let's see. Yeah. Put the light through and just put the cap on the front, just like that. And then I'm using these little Dritz clips to hold them really tight and in place on the back. And I will put a link to all of this in the description, but these work really well. I mean, you wouldn't have to use them, but they just hold the lights in perfect position on the back. So I recommend something like that. But you would just work your way around the whole letter doing this. And obviously I've got too many lights. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 lights. So what you might want to do if you've got too many lights on your strand is just skip one every now and then and tuck it in so it's out of the way. And because we have a few extra lights here, I'm just going to go ahead and clip those down and out of the way so they don't show on the front. And we can just flip our lights on. And there we go. We've got our cool letter M. So like I mentioned before, you can use these letters to spell some cool words. And I'll show you a cute example of that here. As we spell the word mom. What a fun little Mother's Day gift idea for our moms. I mean, what mom wouldn't love this, right? A cool little marquee sign that says mom to put in your office or something like that. And they look really cute standing up on a shelf. I know I'm showing these laying down, but they look really cute standing up. And they stand up really nicely. The only letters you might have to use some adhesive to help them stand would be like the letter P and maybe the letter F. Maybe put a little adhesive down on the bottom to make them stand up on a shelf. Anyways, I hope you enjoy making these cool marquee letters. And if you have any questions, please let me know. You can leave a comment here on this video, or you can contact me at info@loriwhitlock.com. You can also post your projects on our Facebook page. So I'll talk to you guys next time, and I hope you have fun making these cool letters. Have a great day. Bye-bye.